Today I wanted to share with you how you can reach pretty much every single calisthenics goal you have ever set your mind to, and do so without having any sort of hiccup. What most people get wrong about calisthenics is that it's not about doing push-ups or pull-ups, but the end goal is total control over your body weight. While working on singular skills is absolutely amazing and will help you become stronger, faster, more flexible, there are a handful of things that, if you adjusted them, would help you be leagues ahead of anyone working on their calisthenics goals, and it can be implemented on other fitness goals as well. So if you're ready, I'd say let's go and have some fun. Now, the very first thing, and the one that will have the most impact on your training, I want to learn how to do a pull-up, and I will do every single exercise that will get me there. I will be dedicated, I will be motivated, and I will take it super seriously. And while that mindset is admirable, there's also a quick way to fail at what you want to reach. If you want to go beyond the simple exercises and reach truly advanced calisthenic skills and total mastery over your body weight, it is absolutely crucial to have fun while working on these skills. And that is something most people either forget about or lose over time because they have simply been doing this for so long that the magic is gone. And I truly get it. Slaving away at learning a skill day in, day out can be very challenging for the mind. And it can snuff out any sort of passion you have for that same workout. And the one thing that will save you from this is play. Learning how to have fun while you're working on learning these things. The word gamification gets thrown around a lot when it comes to learning skills such as a new language through apps like Duolingo, for instance, which, funny enough, that owl has been in my nightmares pretty much every single week, reminding me that I didn't do my lessons even though it's just 2 a.m. What you need to do is find out how to have fun while working out. And the way to have fun while working out is to play around with whatever skill you want to learn. Many people, for instance, lately have been getting into animal movement patterns, which is one of the most effective ways to train your entire body due to the compound nature of these movements and the massive amount of strength, control, flexibility, and coordination that you will be building and that you will be advancing through. One way to make this a little bit more enjoyable is to step out of the frame, which means doing things differently and trying things out by yourself. When I first started to do advanced mobility routines where you have a lot of full body movements that require a lot of strength and a lot of control, but more importantly, creativity, I really didn't know what to do. I found movement patterns that I was able to do yet never thought about working on because I never tried playing around with them. And this took years of my progress that I could have been advancing through much faster. I would like to learn the crow pose, which is basically just balancing on your hands with your legs tucked in. What if I balance around with just one knee? What if I turn my upper body sideways and require a little bit more flexibility, or just any sort of variation that gives you the feeling that you are doing something new, learning something interesting, and adding any sort of thinking to the progress instead of just going through the movements day in, day out until they become monotonous, and over time you're gonna hate doing it because there is no spark. And that is also the reason why I work on so many disciplines like yoga, like fighting, like calisthenics, like powerlifting, and adding many different things to my repertoire so I can have fun. I do want to learn the front lever, but I also want to have fun while doing it. And there are exercises in other disciplines, like for instance the deadlift, they're gonna get me faster to that same goal, but are gonna add something new to what I am already doing. This sort of playing around with your capabilities, finding out what is more fun, what is less fun, and discarding what you feel is too monotonous will help you immensely in staying consistent, which is pretty much the single most important thing when it comes to advancing any goal. It doesn't even matter if it's fitness or not. Everyone talks about consistency is key. No one tells you how to stay consistent and what is keeping you from doing so. And in my opinion, the very first thing you need to learn is how to have fun consistently. Sure, some days are going to be boring, and sure, some days you're gonna wish, okay, I actually don't want to do this, but most of the time you should be having fun while you're working out. And that brings us to the next point. One of the most surefire ways to definitely have fun while working on stuff like that is the experience of success. Something that traps most people when it comes to learning any sort of calisthenic skill, due to no fault of your own. For most people who get into bodyweight training or simply training in general nowadays, it goes over social media. You see someone doing a skill you really think is impressive and you want to learn it yourself. The thing that you do not think about is that these people usually have worked for years or sometimes even decades to hone that specific skill, and that is why it does look so easy to replicate and so impressive. And if you use that as your focus and as your goal, you will probably quit before you even reach it. The archer pull-up is one of the most amazing pull-up exercises you can do for upper body strength and control. I didn't get there by working on archer pull-ups. I got there by working on my dead hang strength because I need grip strength to go through this exercise. By working on scapular pull-ups because I need those to control the movement when I go through a longer range of motion. Working on biceps dominant chin-ups because I will need that strength in my arms to later be able to pull up. That way of breaking it down and regressing to its easiest form will help you have success experiences throughout the course of learning how to do an archer pull-up. Your first time hanging onto a bar for a full minute is going to be an absolutely amazing success. First time of pulling up completely until your shoulders or your chin touches the bar will be an amazing feeling of success. First time of executing a classic pull-up or even just a scapular pull-up with a long range of motion is an amazing feeling of success. And by the time you have reached the strength and the control to do a full archer pull-up, you will have had so many success experiences that the archer itself will just feel like another step in between your next skills. Learn how to take whatever skill you want to learn and regress it to its most basic form. You want to learn how to do archer push-ups because you want to work on your chest and upper body strength as well as your coordination. Then it is time to work on your knees with classic push-ups first. On your knees with archer push-ups after. Being able to do multiple repetitions of those. And of course, like we said before, in between, start working on things that you didn't think about. When you're all the way down here, are you able to push sideways from one side to another? Are you able to go through circular movements? Add a little bit of creativity to your workout. Over time, you can still raise those knees and go through the same movement pattern. Trust me on this, I'm speaking from experience, from probably losing years of progress because I didn't have the right mindset and the right goals. Just working on these two aspects will make a world's difference when it comes to any sort of training you think about. Even if your goal is just flexibility, which directly brings me to my next point, which is that calisthenics in general requires a lot, and I mean a lot of mobility. And by mobility, I do not mean your ability to stretch a muscle, lengthen it, like for instance we did when touching our toes. No, mobility means being able to take a certain joint through a long range of motion in a controlled fashion. And that means that mobility combines every single training aspect. That includes coordination, that includes strength, that includes flexibility, and it includes endurance. And when those things come together, that is the point where you have mobility. Prioritize being able to go through so many different movement patterns in your upper body, in your lower body, that combine all of these aspects, which is of course the easiest when you are using calisthenics instead of classic hypertrophy training at the gym. So you're already ahead of the curve. You need to do cardio. If you don't want to go running or swimming, you can go for a walk. If you do that for half an hour every single day, that is more than enough cardio work separately. Your calisthenics workouts themselves will also help you strengthen your cardiovascular system. When it comes to your flexibility, you need to be stretching. It doesn't have to be boring, static stretching. If this is not your thing, holding specific positions for a half a minute to a full minute, which feel pretty uncomfortable, let's not lie about that, then you can work dynamically while targeting the same muscles. Here we have an amazing hamstring stretch every time we go into external rotation in our hip and lower down as closely to the ground as possible with the same joint. And the way you find out about stuff like that is through playing around and through trying out new things. And of course, you need to work on your strength, and the best thing to do that is using heavy compound movements. Even if it's just supplementary to your calisthenics training. If you can add a deadlift and a squat, that is more than enough to aim for full body strength and to help you achieve all those calisthenic skills much faster. Now, those are 3 things that are a little bit more multifaceted, a little bit more nuanced, and are not as easy as I see the exercise, I replicate it, but it does require a little bit of creativity and a little bit of engagement with what you are trying to learn. And that can be very difficult. It took me a very long time to realize that what I am doing is not working and that it is sucking all the fun out of fitness, and over time you will stop, and the moment you stop it will be very hard to come back to it. So don't even let yourself reach that point and start working on these things now. Which brings me to the last point that is going to help you with every single one of these aspects. Liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and staying with me. Check out other videos. We have so many different routines, from mobility to flexibility to strength to calisthenics. Hundreds upon hundreds of exercises you can go through. Pretty much daily uploads, and someone who replies to comments. I really enjoy reading every single one of them and replying to every single one of them. I'm happy about every single person that joins us, because together we can become stronger, much faster. We have been growing. It's almost 100 people every single day, and thank you for all of that. And if you stayed till the end of the video, thank you even more, and I hope we see each other again. So until next time, Captain Cairo, peace out.